We're back and we made it and we're together. So Thomas, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to actually be here now. Half hour later, but I'm here.
That took a half hour.
Yes,
I'm so sorry.
that's all right. We're here. We're live. It's good. We can continue the conversation. And I was able to hear some bits and pieces of it, but now I'm gonna see if I can share it out here.
Hi, Johanna. Hey, Cliche. Thank you for coming back. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming back. This is Consciousness Conversation. We're going to talk about soulmates, twin flames, relationships in this energy, and what it means now that we've gone through the harmonic convergence and we are post 2012, where we had a major planetary shift in energy. And we're starting to feel it in a way that we've never felt it before. And it's starting to bring people together in a way that it's never brought people together before. So, we're excited to have this conversation because I think with everything that's going on right now in the planetary alignments, and again, I am your armchair astrologer. So please look at astrologers that's way more advanced than I am. I literally have my toe in the water, but I do keep abreast of it to the point where I know that right now there are some very significant planets in alignment that are really bringing about relationship. Yes, Sheila, he's on too. So I had a little conversation about what I felt soulmates were and how it's really about that soul connection and that soulmates come in to help evolve us. So what would you like to add?
So I'll go back to my where to begin. We all preach, and we hear this all the time. I see this on different lives when I'm talking to people in the past, or even if I'm on other lives and people are talking about, especially when they go into the card readings. The biggest question you always hear is, when am I going to find my soulmate? Where's my soulmate? Where can it be? When's it going to come to me? What does it look like? I mean, it's fun. I'll see an ad on Facebook every day, like 2 times a day. Oh, contact me and I'll draw your soulmate. So I want to start with there's like this first here. Okay, I want to break it down to two different types of. It's quite complicated. I like doing this first. What I do is I go through researching, look at different people, what they're saying, and put what resonates together. And so there's soulmates of your soul family that are your human earthly family. So let's take this as an example. Those are the ones that you've come back with in your same grouping of entities of souls. You've always come back with them in the same time frame, the same period, having different relationships. Sometimes they're your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, your sister. It doesn't matter. Or just a neighbor, a math teacher that comes into your life. But you come into these lives with this soul family, okay, that you have a little deeper connection with because you've been with them before. And so with them, this is really cool when you think about this. Since you've had these past life histories together and you've been with them, you also are more attuned to their soul. And what you can see in them, this is really neat. When you see them and you finally can acknowledge who they are and you get to that deeper sense, you start seeing your soul and pieces of your soul in them. Because at the bottom end of the day, the very simplest form, we are all one. We are all together. We are all one. So each one of us is pieces of the soul of every individual is inside every single person. So we can see if we really have this connection with the soul family, that soul family that's around us, that is with us, that is here. They're together. They're with us. Sorry, they just came out. They're with us. They're here. We can start seeing ourselves in them because we see that, and we have that connection. We can see in each other our souls. So sometimes we feel those people are like, oh my goodness, the soulmates. They're a soul family that we've gotten so close with that we know who they are over the years, and we've got more attuned to being able to tap into the fact that we can see our own soul in them. And that's the one grouping. There's another grouping out there that we've had histories and past with. Those are our star family, our star seed family, whatever we want to call it. We might not have had that grouping in human sense in this past lives in this planet, but with those, we've had interactions with them in other planets, in other realms, other places, other times. And so we can still have those type of connections with them. And so if you start out with that premise there, you've got the soul family, which is people that you've been around with, and they can be anything. And then you get this other group of family that they're out there, you just don't, they're not technically in your own earth cluster. Now, as we grow and as we develop, we raise our vibration. This is a key thing. So key and so important, this vibrational part of it. Since we are, as I said earlier, we are all part of the same, we are part of the one source, we are all part of this. If you think about it, every single human on this planet at this time is your soulmate. They are, and they can be, and they have the potential to be. But as we grow and as we develop, our vibrations will change. Our humanity comes into it, and we have our choices and our preferences. And so, what ultimately happens is we make contracts as we go along with everyone. And our contracts, we make our own invisible ink. So we can change and rip them up, tear them up anytime we want. As we grow and as we change, we make these choices. But if we walk down the street and we found someone and we connect and we end up being one, vibrational understanding and love of ourselves. And if they're at the same vibrational understanding and love of themselves, we are at the same vibrational landing and standing. We now can have a higher connection. Now that vibrational connection is happening. Now this is when people say, "Oh my goodness, I found this soulmate." It's you found someone that's a vibrational match to you right now. And there's so many of them out there. And it's what you're looking for. And as your soul goes out there and sends the contracts out, it also sends out there to the right vibrations to bring forth the vibrating.
Well,
And so I'm sorry, I just threw it a lot out there. Uh, in like I don't know how much time, 4 minutes.
yeah.
Uh,
No, but really what you brought forth was, that idea that this is about frequency and it is about soul connection. And, I love how you reminded us that ink is invisible ink and you can rewrite those contracts based on your evolution. And that's what this is all about. We have to understand we're here to have evolution, to grow and to move up in our frequency, and we're going to find the people to go along the way with us. And so we have to be willing to change. And one of the hardest things about the evolutionary process is sometimes you have to evolve out of a relationship or a group and be okay knowing that you're moving on and they're going to do what they need to do in their evolution.
ab- Absolutely. And I'll use myself, my own stories. You know, I don't know what it means because as I learn more and I go through this, but I felt I met a deep soulmate early on in my journey here. And one day when I learned about contracts, I literally saw that contract with her dissolve. And I felt I met multiple ones. But as you said right there, as I grew, and with the first one, the revelation I had with that, which helped me get to where I am, and it wasn't that long ago I had this revelation, was the first time I actually saw her, I finally realized that she chose path A and I chose path B.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw our souls talking, I had no idea what that meant. 2 years later, it hit me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I know exactly what it means now. She was choosing where she wanted to be, her vibration, and I was saying, no, I want to be at this vibration, and I'm going on this path.
Mm-hmm.
And both were perfectly right. Could we, if we stayed in the same vibration, gone on a whole different path? Absolutely. But that's not what we chose. And so instead of sulking on what could have been, the key is, okay, now I'm ready to move forward with something new and something different. But I find a lot that when people talk about their soulmate or their twin flame, and I twin flame, I'm going to go into this real fast. I just hit what it was. It's when you can find your soul in someone else. You can find the piece of your soul in someone else that you hit that different connection, and you have that vibrational connection. You can have these other soul connections with it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that one person is your oh my god everything. It just means that person is part of your soul family, and you within each other can recognize the pieces of you inside of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and you have some similarities and frequencies and past lives together. But it's all about understanding they come into your life when you want them, when you need them, and they leave. If you both choose to leave and you can let it go, and when you let it go and you choose them to release those soulmates that you call them, those soul family members, those deep vibrational connections you have,
Mm-hmm.
something else will come. But you must always release. You can't be holding on to, oh, I'm going to hold on to this back burner, back this person here, hoping that they come back to me, because then you can't move forward. And I've had that, and I held on. I think 3 times I held on
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't ready and I didn't understand the idea of releasing and understanding that we have these contracts. We come in, and there's the reason they're in invisible ink, as you said, as I said, is because we have free choice. As we go through our life, we can change anything at any point, and that's a beautiful part of the gift we are given. But our soulmates are here. We're soulmates. Everyone on this list is a soulmate. We just can connect, we can resonate, and I know a lot of people on here. We resonate at a certain level, so we resonate together more, so we feel more connected. We feel like we need to be there. I mean, and that's a good thing when you find, because when you get to that point, you raise up, those people are going to come to you. But when we make those changes and we have to choose, we often get afraid and scared because we don't know what the expectation is going to be. And that's okay. But we have so many soulmates out there, so many different contracts we can write, and it's so beautiful. And then you get into these, get into these galactic ones. Where also you're like, we were doing this on other planets, and now you meet them. It just okay. I'm gonna quiet down. But I did it 3 times. 3 times I met someone. 3 times I met someone, and their soul talked to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a unique thing I get. I don't know why. When I meet someone at that level, their soul talks to me, and so I know that we've had this deeper connection, which is the vibration is at the right where we
Mm-hmm.
are. But I've had to let them go. And
Mm-hmm.
that was always a tough thing because we went, decided to compare, whatever it was. Um, and then someone has always come to me next. And that's what we got to understand. Someone's going to come to us next when
Well,
we're
and
ready.
also, yeah, and the other thing that I'd like to put out there is, I've had a soulmate in my life, almost my entire life. Her and I connected at 5 years old, and we connected in a way where we were like magnets, like we just found each other. And her life has taken her all over the United States. Her father was a Navy man, and so we were never really. I mean, we had the first, I would say, 5 consecutive years in a family together where we got to see and spend a lot of time together. But then after that, it was a situation where we would keep coming back together. But as soon as we got back together, it was like we were never apart. It was like we just recognized each other. And, so for some of you, you might not even recognize that you've had soulmates in your life your whole life, because you didn't recognize that it was a sibling or that it was a cousin or that it was a family member. But sometimes these soulmates that you grow with, and I can honestly say that her and I have gone years without speaking to each other. She had her whole family, I had my family. We didn't have a lot in common for a lot of those years. She made choices and decisions I didn't support. I made choices and decisions she didn't support, but we always loved each other enough to always come back and have those conversations and just love and support each other from that unconditional place of we didn't agree with certain choices and decisions we each made in our lives, but we didn't hold it against each other. We respected each other, and we've grown, we've evolved. We're 50 years down the road of this relationship, 45 years down the road of this relationship. It's been over the hills and through the valleys, but we've always been able to meet each other at that soul level where we just loved each other no matter what. And I think that people have to realize that it's not just always about partnership love. It's not always about romantic love. That you can be fulfilled and you can have true love in your life that is not romantic love. And if you can really recognize that you can love yourself and you can love your connection to your team of guides, angels, and ascended masters. You have soulmates that are on the other side, we're supporting you from the other side of the veil. And that when you're going through something hard, you can tap into those soulmates those connected souls that are here to support you, guide you, and love you no matter what. And so I think that, yes, we want to have love in our lives. And for some people, you want that partnership. You want to have that husband or that boyfriend or fiance, or girlfriend, wife. But if you're not in that situation, I think it's okay for you to recognize that you still have love in your life, and
Mm-hmm.
give love to a soulmate. And it doesn't have to be that partnership. It can be that friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where I think people get that lost with soul. That's where that word soulmate has gotten so
Convoluted.
strewed. Yeah, it's all about bum 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 and love. The word love. I was at a meeting the other day, and the word love came up, and I said, "Yes, can you define love?" And my first answer was, Our Lord for love is so simple in human language, but it's so complicated because it is so much more than just bum 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 bum. It is the relationship that everyone has with everyone else. Love is this huge energy, but it gets messed up, and the word soulmate gets messed up because, as you said right there, as we've said, we are all soulmates to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have our soul family, which I would say would even be closer. And you meet them on the street, the friend that you had for 45 plus years. You know, some of that, it can be as simple as, I go back to the book by Lee Carroll, The Journey Home, the math teacher, the person that happened to, in the story, get in the car accident. With, they're there in our lives to serve out a certain contract, and they are soulmates to us. But and I love you said this also. You used the word love a lot, but what you said there, we have to love ourselves. We have to love ourselves first. And so the love is always around us. I listened to the story yesterday. I go to crying a lot. I listened to the story, and it was probably a piano from like 7 years ago, and he was like, you know, dear loved ones, we love you, but if you need to go and cry in the corner and cry in a closet and lock yourself, shut the door and cry and get all this out, get it all out, but know that no matter what, you have a whole team of your ancestors and your past sitting there in the corner waiting for you to come out to get because they all love you. You are so surrounded. You are never alone. And in the human sense, we're never alone. They're around us playing out the contracts that we wrote with them, playing it out perfectly. And so I think we start thinking about this in a different way. Start thinking about this as, I'm going to go. I don't know why I'm going back to this, but letting go of the past. I mean, I see some of the comments there too. Letting go of those past relationships, those past bumps you've had, those past connections you have with a brother or sister. Not saying getting rid of them, but saying, if you want to move on and find something, you want to find what else is out there, you want to be open to more, you have to be open to more. And not close yourself off and say, I had it and I lost it. Whether it was with a brother, a sister, a neighbor. Yes, sometimes we do lose that for choices. But if we can let it go, we can find that neighbor we've always wanted again that we had when we were a child. We can find the friend. We can find those soulmates
Mm-hmm.
because we are soulmates to each other. And by letting go and releasing and forgiving ourselves, we're loving ourselves, raising that vibration, and putting ourselves in the right spot to be where we want to be with whomever it is we want to be with. And then if you want to call it whatever you want to call it, a soulmate, you want to call it twin flame, go for it. But I warn you, don't think of it in the context that humanity thinks of it as my one true love, because you're going to get stuck back in that rut of, I found my one true love. Well, yeah, I didn't. You just found someone that's vibrationally with you right now. And if you grow together and you continue beyond together, whether it's a brother, sister, neighbor, it doesn't matter who it is, if you continue to grow in the same process, it's going to stay. It's when we grow differently, separately, we have to realize that we're going different paths, and it's okay.
And I think that that's the big thing, to know that it's okay no matter what your path is. So many people are still kind of caught up in that stereotype of, being swept off their feet, or Prince Charming coming in, or rescuing the princess, or whatever it is. A lot of people are addicted to the idea of that being swept off your feet, that romantic honeymoon stage of a relationship, and not recognizing that if you really get in touch with yourself and love yourself, that you can get into a very beautiful frequency of love that you live in, and you don't have to find it outside of yourself. You don't have to go looking for it. You can, and I love how you said that, like, they're there waiting for you, they're in the corner. Because honestly, I can't tell you in the past 5 years, like, how many times I've had to go to that corner and say, please, please, please show me a sign you're here. Because as humans who are shut down because of fear, because of trauma, because of being hurt in the past, how do you open back up when you are stuck in that pain of a heartache? And the only way you can grow or evolve out of that is to love again. And you have to, if you can start with loving yourself, then it becomes a much easier process into going back into loving others again.
Mm-hmm. 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 Starts here.
Mm-hmm.
And once you love yourself and master yourself, you can love so many others. You can love unconditionally. You can even have that conversation with someone where, it's kind of love someone. If they say to you, I don't know where this is going to go, so I might tap out at some point. If you can say, it's okay, when you're ready to tap out, you're not, yeah, it might hurt for a second, but you know what? It's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. If something happens in our lives or something changes, it's okay. And as ourselves, we need to accept the fact that we are still love. You hear what I said? We are still love. Not that we're still love, we are still love.
Mm-hmm.
And then we still have the love behind us and
Mm-hmm.
around us. And we still have that group of soul family with us. And as we go up higher into our elevation, we still have that soul, the starseed family that's joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I think is really great. And I remember crying saying this is the perfect time for me. And it was when he really was understanding the invisible contracts. And I saw the contract like fade in front of me. When you go to those new levels and you increase your vibration, think about this when it's in the beginning too. And don't worry, I can't remember anything said in the beginning. I was completely out of it. All right, I was it. I mean, the energy was all right. I had to go like reset after that beginning talk I did. Uh, but as our vibration increases and our frequency gets higher, so we're ascending. What we're doing is we're also ascending into new areas where we can bring in those new groups and almost start new groups. This is what people don't understand also. Now, it's all part of the reincarnation that we just come back. We don't, eventually, we get into a new group. And then that comes into a new soul group, so no soul family that you're going to be part of, and you start coming back in life with them. So as you ascend, you'll also start finding a new group to get into, and you because your connection will go because you yourself have ascended it. And when you come back, you're already at the higher vibration. You already get to start off that little head start. And so that's why we go through and shift this. So we don't always stay with the same group as we grow. And now we're going to see this a lot happening more. As we grow, we're going to start finding a new group that we're going to start coming back with that new group in different realms. But it's all who is there around you all the time. There's so many soulmates around you that you've already met. And you can find any soulmate in anyone at any point with your free choice. And I'm now just randomly talking, so unless you can steal the spotlight anytime you want, I talk and talk and talk and talk.
No, actually, I was going to say, Meta, you're absolutely right. Romance is being bathed after being sick. That, if you're truly with someone who loves you authentically, there's nothing you can't share with them. There's nothing you can't reveal to them. There's nothing you can't be a part of with them. And I think that's beautiful. And that's one of the beautiful things about being connected with a soulmate is you can let down your guard. You can be authentic. You can show your warts. You can be you. And if you're in a situation where that's not the case, then I would really look at, what is going on here? Because if we're not feeling like we're connected on a very soul level, then are you being respected? Are you being loved the way you deserve to be loved? So yes, Sheila, new energy, new human frequency. Ascension will come back with higher ascension frequency with all soulmates family. And Johanna says, new light is like being sent to the planet with positive love. I'm yes into the light codes within the plasma. Earth is in a new location in space. Pure love being sent to Earth. Sunlight essential for ascension. Yeah. Which, for a while now, I've been really talking about grounding and getting outside. And now I know, Johanna, why. I've been brought to, sometimes I'm being brought to say things and to share things. I don't always understand why. And then I start talking to all of you and I'm like, oh, that's why that came in. So it's all synchronistic. It's all together.
Do you want to put up Maddie's comment real fast? I just got to give her a wink.
Which one?
Maddie's comment. The last one. Sometimes our thunder comes back. Yes. I acknowledge what you just said, Maddie. Okay. Yes. Sometimes our thunder does come back. And we go through so much. We do. And you know what? All right, so let me share this because this is part of my story. I mentioned the different groups. Okay, so you have your soul family, but as you extend, you start getting to a new soul family. You might think, what is he talking about? He's crazy. I might be crazy, but when I was with, one of the soulmates that I met, soulmate, I would say that the word that we would think of it as in the human sense, one of those people that we were on a vibrational level with.
Mm-hmm.
However, together, we had a deep, dark past. And so that when we saw, oh my goodness, all right, it's coming to me now. That'll make sense. When we saw the piece of soul in the other, what I saw, was the dark part of it, the low vibrational part of it. And that was because we were part of a group, a soul family group, that I was leaving. Because of it. Because I was going to a new spot. And that group, what we had, the perceptions we had, the soul, the energy that we had when we were in those lives was that. And so I had to ascend and I had to let that person go. And once I understood it and I started analyzing more this past 2 months, I got it. And it's happened to me with another person where they saw it in me. And I understand why. Because that's how we were and what the path was. And for the ascension to happen, I had to get into a new group, and I was getting into a new group with a higher ascension and a higher vibration because that's what I was ready for. And I was bringing, as Medi said, bringing my thunder back. Because that's what you have to do sometimes. It's not for everyone. We're on our own journeys. We'll come to different spots, different places, different lands, and everything. But that's an example of moving from one group to the next. Because I had to, because now I was seeing what was no longer resonating with me. So I had to go to a new group to start afresh and be where I need to be, where I'm at, and let that go. Let that past be, and be in the new energy and new light, and with others that are vibrating with me at the right level. Because I was not, and I am not going back to that which was before. Because the thunder is back. So you get that? Yeah. If you understood it, tell me, because I have no idea what I just said.
No, it's beautiful. And I don't think we're meant to know what it says. It's bringing in a higher vibrational frequency, that's for sure. So it's beautiful. And guys, that is a half an hour. We did it again. Yes, we are in the classroom. And Cliche, I think that's beautiful. You asked that question, Justice Thomas. was answering it. So it's all synchronistic. We're all here in the right place at the right time, being here together, learning together. So I thank you all for being here with us
So
for the conversation.
I'm gonna touch on that real fast. The high vibrational, low vibrational soulmates.
Okay.
I just feel like I want to touch on it. Uh, it's where you're at in your life.
Mhm.
It's what you perceive. It's where you're at, what you believe, what you're going through. So where I was at months ago was at a lower vibration, and it wasn't a deep, dark, anything like that. Not that low, but you see this a lot. And I'm going to say this, and I want people to think. I'm going to say this. Okay, I'm going to say this. Ryan said this the other day. I've been listening to all this stuff now. All right, let's go with shaman. Are wonderful. They are great. They do great things. They help people. They do nothing bad with them. However, what they rely on is the old energy. Because they're relying on what they've done in the past for century after century after decade, and how to deal with things before the energy shift happened. And so they're being taught, they use these certain tools, these certain methods and ways. It's not that it's wrong, it's not that it's not needed, but it's part of the old energies. And then so, and then St. Pent is part of a different type of vibration. But if you believe in that and you have that and you got that around you, that's a wonderful thing. You will attract those that are at that level of vibration, and you will attract those that are desiring that and want that. The key is the light, and so you have that. Now, with the other lower stuff, yes, if you've had past, or we all have inside of us, we all have light and darkness. We come in with it. What you see is everyone's at different percentages of one over the other. So someone might be 90% light and 10% dark. Someone might be the exact opposite. That is there. And we will attract ones that have the same vibrational flow as us. We'll go for that. As well, the low vibrational ones will want to be with the higher ones because they have a higher energy and they want to be with that. So we will attract, but we all have this. The key is, can you bring that light, understand how much light you have within you and light and around you? Because the more light you understand you have within you and around you, the more you're going to be able to elevate yourself up to a point where you won't see the dark anymore and can't get to where you are. But most of us are not there. Most of us are in that balance of some light and some dark. Hopefully it's more like this, light, dark down here. But we all have that. And we will that's where we're vibrating it. So that's where our frequency is at. So we're going to find people that are at that same frequency until we go higher or lower. We're going to find people that are at that same frequency. But when you get the soulmates, like the soulmates I mentioned already, the vibration was high, but the past, when I looked into their soul and I saw my piece of soul in them, because it's a gift that I had. I don't know how I got it, don't know what it means. I was able to see the darkness with a couple of different people I was with. And then some saw it with me. And it taught me what I had to do eventually. But it was just where we were at because of the past. We've gone through some dark times in the past. Think about it. The Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. There's a reason why they were called the Dark Ages, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to turn off. I'm going normal. That's all I'll say. I'll just say thank you very much for listening. I'm so glad you joined. If you have any questions for me, feel free to friend request me. Feel free to send me a message. I'm here. Same with Melissa. And classic. I hope that helped you out a little bit. That was a lot. It's a very complicated topic to really go over. This whole soulmate thing, 30 minutes. I mean, I could write a thesis on some of this stuff. Apparently, I'm a doctor. I can do that. But anyways, we're here. We're renewed. So that's all I've got for today.
All right, guys. Thank you for being here. It is Friday. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. We'll be back next Thursday. Bye, guys.